How y'all doing, ladies and gentlemen? So we're here today with I guess you want to call it a review of Hajime no Ippo chapter 1308, 1308. Now I have obviously read this chapter. It's a review, not a reaction. But I thought, like, as a review, I just want to kind of go through the pages as well, just, as a whole. Now, my last review for Hajime no Ippo was well received. I hope the sarcasm isn't lost. I hope the sarcasm truly isn't lost. It was well received. It seemed to be like people agreed with me very much at the beginning, and then, like, as time went on, a lot of people started to disagree. Like, just going by like the like and dislike bar, it seemed like, the first 24 hours, like, it was basically at, like, I think it was like 8 likes or something. It was roughly like 70% liked. For the first 24 hours, it was roughly like 70% liked. And then the next day happened, and the next day happened, and suddenly it's at like 40% liked and 60% disliked. I was like, oh, interesting. Interesting. Did people only like it at the beginning because those are the people that actually already subscribed to me, or what happened there? Or did people agree with me that the chapter wasn't bad, that the conclusion was bad? But then people actually sat on it more and they were like, yeah, it wasn't that bad. I still fully, believe what I said during that chapter. But also, I'm going to be honest, I really, really like this chapter. I liked last chapter, I just didn't like it in the grand scope of things. I like the chapter as by itself, but not as a whole. This chapter, I also very much liked on its own, but, like, not as a whole. And that's my take with this whole fight. I like the chapters individually. I don't like the consequences and it as a whole. Now, it's not as bad as the Wooly fight. I think that one, it's probably the worst fight in the whole series, or the RBJ fight. But that one was, it was bad, but not that bad. The Wooly fight is the one that makes absolutely no sense, because Wooly just, like, Wooly makes as a character makes no sense, right? And this show has built up a reputation of being pretty true to life. Obviously, it takes liberties. It is a manga slash anime, at the end of the day, but it's still in a realistic setting, in a realistic world where there are consequences, and Wooly kind of just breaks them. It's kind of like the Hoken of the Hajime no Ippo world, that makes absolutely no sense, and in a world where in a world that's established to be grounded and based in reality, it makes absolutely no sense. He makes absolutely no sense. The only difference between Wooly and Hoken is that Hoken is cool, Wooly wasn't. So yeah, that's why I can excuse Hoken, but I can't excuse Wooly. Now, here's my take though on this chapter this chapter by itself. Again, I very much liked it. Sendo, he wins. It's just a very simple win. Gonzalez collapses to the ground. The referee's like looking at him like, nah, done. Art, as always, is fantastic. Murakawa, just amazing with the pen. His penmanship is just on point, like a trident. Absolutely on point, absolutely brilliant. Sendo wins. Yeah, he's like, I won. Seemed like he was a little bit up. He seemed like he was a little bit concussed. When I first read, I was like, oh, is he about to collapse and die? Is he about to collapse and die? Is that what's about to happen? Is he about to sit down on a stool and... We're not going there. No, we won't go there. Is he about to collapse and die? Didn't happen. Alright, it did not happen. He was like, I won. Wow, I really did it. Yeah. His hand, right fist, he says that his right fist hurts so bad I can barely keep standing. So, definitely very much broken. Question is, how long is it going to be? Again, for me, the main thing is, are there consequences to the way he fights? Because I think there has to be. I can't... People are saying, oh, if only if Ippo had a bigger backbone. Oh, if only he took that counter. Or people are saying, well, Sendo couldn't really put all his weight into that punch because his hand was broken. That's not the point. It's the wrong lesson for Ippo to be learned, right? This whole arc of his, this whole retirement arc of his, I sound like I'm ranting a little bit. Well, I'm not. I actually I know people dislike the retirement arc because it just seems like, won't he, will he, won't he, so on and so forth, right? I get that. We've been that way, I think, now for nearly I want to say 100 chapters, right? I've done like 3 Ippo videos, right? The very first Ippo video I did was the retirement chapter. But like as a whole, right? I actually quite like the retirement arc, despite how slow it is, for 2 reasons. I like slow mediums, long-running shows, because they tend to take their time developing these characters, and that's exactly what happened with Ippo. During his retirement, you know, he evaluated his life, he evaluated his characters. Of course, he still has doubts, he still has, you know, hesitations here and there. Should I go back? Should I not? I really enjoy boxing, but it is such a dangerous sport. You know, just having these conflicts within him, I very much enjoy. It's a bit much, I'll say that. You know, considering that we've now been here for nearly 100 chapters, which it feels like 3 years, but it's still very, very enjoyable. My issue though is that he's been making very good progress in terms of like getting becoming a smarter boxer, right? He's made a lot of progress becoming a smarter boxer. You know, him working as a second, he's noticing a lot more tactical things. He's noticing a lot more strategical aspects of things. He's getting very much smarter, which I feel like once he comes back is going to help him tremendously. This fight just kind of throws that away. It just kind of throws that away, and that's why this fight bothers me so much. I like seeing Sendo win. I want him to win the world title. Alright, straight up, I want him to conquer. I want him to be Takamura, and despite the fact that I love Takamura, right? But that's the thing, right? I like him as a character. The issue is, the world is grounded in reality. If the world was not grounded in reality, I would say like, okay, forget it. It doesn't matter. You know, certain worlds are not grounded in reality, but they still have a crux. They still have something that brings a character down on a level that we can understand. A good example would be Superman. Obviously, Man of Steel, Man of Steel, able to do all these fantastic things, but there's still a crux to his character, and that's, first of all, his persona, you know, his double personality, you know, his fake personality, I guess you could say, Clark Kent and Superman, but also kryptonite, something that limits him, because the world is fantastical. In this case, the world is not fantastical. In this case, the world is grounded, and thus I want the consequences to be grounded as well. I don't want the characters to get away scot-free when they shouldn't be getting away scot-free. You know, it's because I enjoy this world so. I'm getting a little ranty right now, but I'm not ranting. I'm just explaining my point here. Why? It's because, you know, it goes into why I like this chapter but dislike this fight as a whole. I enjoy this world so much because it has been very well established, the characters have been very well fleshed out, and the messages have been relatively clear. This seems to be the first time where the message has not been... The third time where the message has not been all that clear. The other two with Wooly and RBJ, alright? But that's not the point, alright? That's why this fight is a letdown to me. It's a letdown. The fight itself, I like. The outcome of the fight, I am happy with. But the consequences of the fight, I am not. Okay, back to this chapter. Rant over. Can't wait for the 50 dislikes on this video. Anyway, Alf wakes up, and I really enjoy this moment as well. Alf going up towards him and like, "You did it." Senna's like, my hand! Why are you doing that for? No, he just bumps and is like, "Adios, Tigre. Team Alf is hereby disbanded. Thank you for everything up till now. I'm satisfied." And he leaves. Which kind of goes back to like the discussion that Alf had right at the beginning of this arc, where it's like, what are you gonna do? You're never gonna catch up to Ricardo. Like what are you gonna do? You're not gonna catch up to him. You've tried it twice, you failed twice. You're not gonna win the third one. Like what is there left for you? And I think this was like the fight where it's like, yeah, you know what? This was one hell of a fight. It was one hell of a fight. I am satisfied. I don't need any more than that. That's it. That's it. I like that. I like that. I I very much liked because they, both of them obviously both of them found a lot of respect for each other, and well executed. The chapter is obviously very short, as is expected from Hajime no Ippo, 10 chapters long, but Team Alf, the youngsters are just like send those boys. They're just like, yeah, okay, we're gonna step into his shoes, Date style. We're gonna step into his shoes and take over, Date style. All right, which was nice. I'll be honest, I don't really care all that much for them. I'll be honest, I don't really care all that much for them. We've literally had them introduced, and that's a conclusion to them. Will we ever see them again? I don't think so. I don't think so, unless Alf returns. I don't think we're ever going to see these characters again. It was a nice conclusion to this chapter, and obviously to Alf's arc. Do I care for them? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Alf became one of the characters I really, really appreciated during this arc, I have to say. And not just this arc, but like the last couple of 100 chapters. So seeing him retire, of course, is one of those situations. But the plot has to move forward. The plot moves forward very, very slowly. I think all of us can agree with that. I like long-running shows because they can do that. That means they can flesh out characters. Like, for example, in Alf's case, right now with this ending, I might not care for it, but I can't deny that it fleshes out the character of Alf. And that's what I'm all here for. So, overall, chapter 1308, I mean, it was just a very short chapter, basically just like continuing on right where we left off. And we're just right here, hopping right into this, and that's the end of this fight. Overall, enjoyable chapter. We'll see, obviously, what the next few chapters have in store for us. I think first we're gonna get a record. We're gonna get a Ricardo fight. A Ricardo is gonna fight. Whoa. That's gonna be. Are we going to get the fight? Ooh, that's a good question. Are we going to get the fight? Are we actually going to see the fight? We could just be getting it skipped. Who knows? But I quite enjoyed this chapter. It was short, sweet, but it wasn't anything special. It was just short and sweet. Just a decent chapter. If I had to give it a score, shoot, I'm calling it a review, so let's give it a score. I would give it a... I know people generally have like 7 as like the neutral point. I don't think that's very fair to like have 7 as the neutral point when it's a rating between 1 and 10. So 5 should be like the middle point. And if 5's the middle point, like an actual true rating, right? Not a, oh yeah, 7. If 7 means it's good. No, none of that, right? Just a true neutral point, right? I would probably give this chapter a 6.5. Which means that I enjoyed it. It wasn't anything special. It wasn't anything special, but it was good. There you go. I enjoyed it. It wasn't anything special, but it was good. More of the same, please. Maybe even better. Maybe even worse. We'll see. I'm going to be trying to do Hajime no Ippo a lot more in the future, of course. But with Hajime no Ippo's schedule is just all over the place. Like, it will come out 1 week, then it won't come out for 2 weeks, and then it'll come out like, in 1 week 3 times. So it's all over the place. So I'm gonna try and be on top of it, but it might be a case where I won't be. But I'm gonna try. That's all I can say. That's all I can do. That's all I will try and do. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be seeing you all in the next one, everyone. Until then, have a nice day. Peace out and bye. Hey everybody, if you like this video, please be sure to rate, comment, favorite, and subscribe. And if you want to see more of these kind of videos, be sure to check out Patreon to get 1 week early access as well as full length. Until next time everybody, peace out and have a nice day.